Rumours of Meatloaf by Bobby Grace. A cayuco, Nadine said, eyes dancing with humour, eyebrows jinking up slightly, corner of her mouth curling. At least that's the way I pictured it in my head. The moon was one night shy of full. I was enjoying the reflection from the lagoon and sipping a Corona. Nadine was 1,500 miles away on her deck, taking a break from the chaos of her current remodeling project. Yeah, a cayuco, I said. It's sort of a cross between a dugout and a canoe. That's probably not what the word means, but that's what it looks like. Huh, Nadine said in English. Uh-huh, I replied in Quechua. Two flavors here, wood and fiberglass. Wood is fading out with the younger crowd, though. I said that last part in English. It's the way folks get around here, mostly, I said. Back and forth to school, visiting neighbors, going to the tienda. That sort of thing. Only a few of the gringos here can do it, as far as I've seen. It's been predicted I'll roll over and fall out a lot, I said. I'll be headlining the Gringo Entertainment Fest here in the Aldea. You don't get MTV, she said. Maybe somebody will give me a microphone, I said. Maybe somebody will give you a life jacket, she said. I'm holding out for mouth-to-mouth resuscitation from one of the local mujeres Salva Hayes, I said. She chuckled. I heard her mug of herb tea clink against the lawn furniture, thought about how many times we'd shared the big moon together, took a sip of Corona. The acoustics are good here in the lagoon, I said, smacking my lips a little from the cool carbonation. Principals de la Bachata laid some plaintive tenor harmonies over a pop bachata groove to prove it. Probably wouldn't need one. Use you panic voice, Nadine said, laughed. Falling out of a cayuco has got to be easier than falling out of the van like that time in Jacksonville when you were backing up to the load-in, Nadine said, chuckled again. Although you made that look pretty easy. I took a minute to enjoy her happy sounds. Hey, we made the gig and paid the hospital, I said, but let's keep the historical record straight. That was Barry. That wasn't me, I said, referring to the tenor and lead guitar player for the trio where me and Nadine met. Was funny, though. I laughed thinking about Barry and that particular goat rodeo of a gig in Jacksonville. I had always thought that if Barry would have only been 4 inches taller, or had an arse 2 inches wider, he wouldn't have come shooting out of the driver's seat that afternoon like he did. Barry was a talented songwriter and musician. He was older than me back then. I think he's been dead enough years that I've probably caught up by now. He worked the Southwestern Circuit with a variety of hairbands for a couple of decades before we met, held a graduate degree in music therapy, and had been a practicing therapist in the state of Florida's largest criminal mental institution by the time our paths crossed. Barry felt he was particularly qualified to minister to the mentally incarcerated because he himself had once served time in a similar institution. You've got to admit, it sounds like a valid hypothesis to work with. I chuckled into the phone. I'd fly you in for the show, except for having no money, closed borders, and the certainty that neither of us want to live an episode of Nadine in the Jungle, I said. You're learning, Bobby, Nadine said. I could feel her smiling through the phone. You've been a good teacher, I said. If I'd have taken a little more time to reflect, I might have used harsh taskmistress instead of good teacher. I took a few beats, passed my memory over that Jacksonville clusterfuck again, landed on me and Nadine dancing together to Bonnie Raitt performing Since I Fell For You after the show at Winston's, a little South Jack's hole in the wall where working musicians of every caliber gathered to be among our own kind. When we danced together, Nadine molded to me like no other woman I've known. Heels, bare feet, it didn't matter. We fit together. Not that IKEA, where's my hammer, kind of fit, but a molecular exchange on an interstitial level kind of fit. I remember asking her one time how she did that. Woman magic, she said. So this Mayan dude who still knows how to craft up these wooden cayucos, I said. Cayuco master, Nadine said. I laughed. Yeah, cayuco master, I said. I'm about a foot taller than the folks around here. Big sun-beaching gringo. My tree's got to be bigger than the standard Guatemalan sports model tree. Then he's got to consider what happens if I want to carry one of the plump river maidens around with me. Freeboard on these boogers is measured in inches and fractions. Got to be an engineering nightmare, Nadine said. Dude finally located the tree about a week ago, is what my buddy, Carlos, told me, but has to wait until 3 days past La Luna Grande to cut it down. More jungle juhu? Nadine said. Beats me. Could be as simple as the household menstrual cycle, I said. Remember, I'm not from around here, but apparently you can't go around whacking down cayuco trees just any old time of the moon. Might start a migration of hapless river maidens, Nadine said. Nobody wants that, I said. We both laughed a little while. So when will Cayuco-san be done with your magic jungle boat? Nadine said, teasing me with her perfect imitation of Japanese war bride English. I laughed. Don't know, I said. Time works differently here. Except for the chainsaw, they've been making these things the same way for thousands of years. It's been working a long time. It takes whatever time it takes. It's not like a guy walks into Cayuco Bill's buy here, pay here, and paddles home that afternoon, the proud owner of a new custom wooden Cayuco. The people have been doing this since before Jesus Christ learned to ride a tricycle. A guy goes and rushes the process or skips over something. The thing just might float upside down or become possessed by a fantasia. Could be I still need to paint myself blue and swim with the manatee or slay a goat or something to prove my worthiness. I figure somebody'll let me know. A laugh. Jesus, Bobby, Nadine said. You need some adult supervision. I have the Vispers watching over me, I said, referring to the giant wasps that live with me, believed to be guardians of the home and spirit by the Ketchi. You're still an idiot, Nadine said, laughed some more. Thought about making a career of it, but the villagers aren't hiring right now, I said. Glad you appreciate my effort. My friend Tom walked by on his way to Texas Mike's, saw me on the phone, raised a hand. I raised a hand in greeting. Tom mouthed something in my direction. I threw him a catchy question face. He pointed to his ear, mouthed it again. Looked like Meatloaf to me. Pointed to Texas Mike's bar, raised his eyebrows and shoulders. I gave him a shrug and a sideways head tilt. In one hand motion he flashed, I'll see you later. I'm off to Mike's. Come on over later, and I'll let you know about the meatloaf. I gave him an upward nod. Well, beautiful, I've got to go, I said to Nadine. Tom just walked by and told me he'd heard rumors of meatloaf at Texas Mike's. Ask around, she said. Maybe they'll let you substitute the slaying of a meatloaf for the slaying of a goat. I laughed. Sharing time with Nadine always makes my heart lighter. Te amo, mi favorita, I said, knowing both of us would pretend she didn't understand the Spanish. I've got to get there before all the gravy is gone.